Coming up, your smart questions answered.
How does the coronavirus stick to objects and move to people?
Then we'll head to Alaska, where bears are chowing down before hibernation. We'll explain why. Plus, we'll introduce you to this kid reporter who started her very own series during the pandemic.
This is NBC Nightly News, Kids Edition.
Welcome back to Nightly News Kids Edition. I hope you guys are doing well. We've got some really great stuff coming up. Finally, we want to introduce you to a 7-year-old girl from Idaho who is an aspiring journalist and decided to start her very own series during the pandemic. Emmy Eaton joins us now. Emmy, you like to ask people questions. Tell me about your series.
So we started doing 7 questions. So we were actually on a raft ride in Yellowstone, and Dad did a live video, and then they said, I would love to see your little girl interviewing him. And then I did that, and then they did my mom and my brother, and then we just did it out to local people, and I didn't expect it to get this big.
Well, you're pretty terrific, and I'm so glad you chose me, and you want to ask me 7 questions, so take it away.
Why did you want to be a news reporter?
Why did I want to be a news reporter? I always liked the news when I was a young boy. I liked to watch the news. A lot of big stories were going on when I was a kid. And I liked broadcasting because I had a brother that had done broadcasting. And so I really wanted to be a radio DJ, play music on the radio. But once I started working at a radio station and I saw the news side and they needed someone to do news, I quickly got really into it and I never looked back. So it's really truly a dream job.
I heard you play in a band. Can you tell me about it and what instrument you play?
Sure. I play in a band. We call ourselves the Rough Cuts, and all of the members of the band work for NBC News. In fact, most of them are my colleagues from Dateline NBC, and we play all kinds of rock and roll and pop and soul and songs, and we don't get to practice much together since the pandemic, but it's really been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun doing it, and I play the bass guitar. Which is kind of, that's the instrument that kind of lays there in the background and sets the foundation for the music.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue. And as I say that, I realize I'm not wearing anything blue except blue jeans, actually. Don't tell anybody. But I love the color blue. And when you see me on the evenings on Nightly News a lot, I'm usually wearing something blue. Not every day, but it's my favorite color.
Yeah, I watched it last night, Kids Edition.
Oh, great.
So I could be ready for today.
Of course.
Have you ever cried covering a sad story? How do you stay happy?
Oh, that's a really good question. Have I ever cried covering sad stories? Yes, in fact, I have. And, sometimes we cover a lot of tragic things that happen to people, either, natural disasters or crimes and that sort of thing. And it's really hard not to cover stories and feel sad. And sometimes I do cry. But it reminds me of my humanity. And I think being a successful journalist, you have to be in touch with your humanity and make sure the audience knows that you feel a lot of the same things that they do. So it's okay to be sad. How I cheer myself up is I really focus on how people find a way to get through really bad times and how people during bad times really stand up and help each other. That always makes me feel better.
I saw you were in the Thanksgiving Day parade with Sesame Street and shared a treat with Cookie Monster. My little brother Elliot loves Cookie Monster. What's your favorite treat?
My favorite treat, well, I don't normally give plugs to commercial things, but I love a good Reese's candy, Reese's peanut butter cups. But my other favorite is I like cupcakes. So sometimes, I think I did it here on this program once, I made cupcakes, but or I'll go out for cupcakes. I like pretty much anything sweet and sugary.
Me too. What is one of your favorite memories when your kids were younger?
When my kids were younger, my favorite memories were just doing really silly things in the neighborhood. When we used to live in Chicago, we lived on a little street that there wasn't much traffic. It was kind of an out-of-the-way street, and so we would take it over on the weekends. And I remember one day we had this battle royal squirt gun fight in the neighborhood. So my boys and myself and some of the other neighborhood kids, and we were running up and down with these big super soakers, and that's actually one of my favorite memories.
If you weren't a news reporter, what is your dream job?
You want to say that again?
Well, I'll go back to one of the other questions. If I wasn't a news reporter, I would be a professional musician. I would be playing in a band all the time. And, maybe when I retire, I'll be able to do that.
Those are all my questions.
Those are all your questions. Well, you're going to be a terrific journalist. Emmy, thank you much for coming on. And I'm really tickled that you selected me as one of the people you interviewed. So I hope you'll keep watching Kids Edition.
Thank you, and I will.
All right. Thanks so much. Emmy Eaton, great to have you on. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a change. Normally, I'm the one asking the questions. Kind of fun to be on the other side.